fuck Atrioc for showing it to thousands of people. Fuck the people DMing me pictures of myself from that website. Fuck you all. This is what it looks like. This is what the pain looks like. Okay?
Alright, so a little bit of context here. This person is a Twitch streamer. This person is someone who is recently affected by the recent simp activities that have been happening online. And I'm going to try to approach this from a very normie, friendly perspective because I think this is several layers deep. First of all, if you don't know, Twitch is a streaming website where a lot of people stream. It also has female streamers who have a particular fan base. Let's just say that this fan base exists to not only watch the streams, but also fervently sexualize the individual. I mean, there's like Pokemon feet compilations, butt compilations. You know, imagine like if you were 13 and 14 but had access to every aspect of the internet. That's most of their viewer base. At least that's what it seems like. And also you have to understand that I think that, you know, I think ironically enough, a lot of women don't realize how many creeps there are in the world, especially on the internet. I'd say for every female Twitch streamer, there's 3,000 to 4,000 simps that are inhabiting their stream at any given second. And that's if they're not even attractive. If they're moderately attractive, the number goes up to millions. And I think that sometimes women get caught off guard how creepy things can be. Because I remember like 2 years ago, there was a Asmer channel who basically did what a lot of channels have done. Like they'll sell like old stuff they don't want anymore. It's like, oh, I got a GPU, I'm selling it, you want it? I got some sneakers, selling it, you want it? And she basically said, I'm selling some old clothes, does anyone want it? Thinking in her head, normal human beings will buy clothes that I used to own, and they'll just wear it. Little did she realize that the simps be simping hard, and they wanted to know, like, did you wear these clothes before? Or any of these clothes undergarments? Perhaps lingerie? I'll pay you extra if you don't wash the clothes. And she was taken aback. She's like, what kind of digital rape harassment is this shit? And it's pretty creepy. It's also pretty hilarious because it's like you would think, like, something as simple as I'm selling something, and then it turns into some dude jacking off going like, oh, really? How are you selling that? Using eBay? What are you using? Well, what are you using to sell that? What's the domain so I can jerk off to that? So this instance is a next level of the simp evolution where essentially a bunch of people are partaking in deepfake adult content, and it basically started when another streamer that she mentioned named Atrioc got caught on stream looking at a bunch of deepfake porno. And it's actually really even creepier for him. I'd say he's a level 3 simp. Go ahead, put the crown on that man, because he basically was looking at content that involved friends of his, people he knew, his friends' girlfriends. So it's basically you're taking it to the level where it's like people you know in real life is like in AI deepfake porno. Like you telling me like I find out one of my homies got like AI deepfake porn of my mom. Like what the fuck is wrong with you? That's disgusting. That's nasty. Just the thought of that is terrible. And the thing is with this is that it was also, again, what's crazy is that this guy was creepy, but he wasn't smart enough to not, like, show it on stream. And he also wasn't smart enough to just make it or just get it for free, because dude paid a website. By the way, that website is no longer active, but if it was, on the way to the Fortune 100. That is a dynamite. I don't support it, much like how I don't support Raytheon bombing children, but when it comes to business ideas, that's a pretty damn good business idea. Now, there's been kind of two takes from this. One take has been the 4chan take, where they're loving it, they're happy. By the way, for this person, do not go to 4chan. She said people were DMing her stuff. Do not go to 4chan. They doing some, let me tell you something. 4chan is trying their best to still be the vanguard of non-normie content, so much so that I can't even show you what don't go there. Do not go there, okay? Just don't. So now they're basically saying it's literally an illusion. It's an image. You're telling me this is digital rape. You're telling me that this is a problem. How is that possible? That's like me photoshopping someone's face on a picture. Is that digital rape? Am I fucking affecting someone by doing that? What if I draw them? What if I put their face on something? Like, it's an illusion. It doesn't exist. It's not real. You're not really there. And at the same time, you have the actual streamers and actual people who have a very different viewpoint. One person basically made a good point of saying, you know, in the past I was sexually assaulted in the physical world, not in the metaverse, where, you know, everyone basically said, sorry to hear that, that's unfortunate, and there was really no question around it. And she says, now today I feel the same way, but people are giving their take and basically saying this isn't necessarily digital harassment, or this necessarily doesn't you shouldn't feel bad about it. Like, what's the issue? And she makes the point of saying, hey, listen, if you don't think it's a big deal that my name is in the headlines where thousands of people are commenting on the sexualization of my body against my will, you are the problem. And that's another level to this, is that it's not only the fact that you're making an image and then, being a weirdo. It's the fact that there's thousands of people per second. We can't do this as in, if we do this by the grand scale of total numbers, we're not going to be able to put the number in this video. It'll be too long. But per second, there are thousands of people who are finding this content, beating their meat multiple times just because they've been enlightened. They found out that AI technology can be used for more than statistics. It can be used to bust a nut. And she has a good point. She's basically saying, like, I never signed up for this. Like, why is my image being used? And technically, from a legal perspective, she probably could sue and get that copyright content removed. But I think it's the idea, the ideology, more so than the actual action. Because you could say, well, actually, it's a non-issue because I literally could just, sue you or basically put a cease and desist on this website and problem solved. But really, it's more so a weird oddity where it's essentially these women being sexually harassed digitally online in the cyberspace, that essentially putting hacker and the gang to shame. That's a cyber chase reference. If I'm not mistaken, I made the same reference in that same video like 2 years ago. If I'm not wrong, pretty sure. Yeah, there we go right there. Look at that. The neurons are still neuroning the same way 2 years later. PBS, you taught me something. Thank you very much. But it really is a weird area because, digital harassment isn't the same as physical harassment. It's, obviously, again, let's take this to the normie level. Physical, you're literally being assaulted. You're being forced to do something you don't want to do. You also have repercussions of that. Whereas digital, it's basically, you're not even in the same room. You're not in the same area. The highest level of that has probably been like revenge porn, where people's like nude content has been put online, where it's very revealing and it makes people feel vulnerable. They don't like it. But that isn't even this. Again, taking the 4chan argument, it's basically saying that it's an illusion. It's literally an image. Are you going to have a problem with Photoshop images? Is that a problem also? Are you going to have a problem with MS Paint images where it's shittily edited? There's definitely a cutoff point where how good the fake is definitely affects it, because you could have hentai porn of random celebrities, but it's like, oh, that's a cartoon, no one cares. But once you get to the point where you have AI voice chat, AI pictures, and deepfakes to the point where it looks like the real person, I think it definitely draws a different comparison. And let me just say personally, I don't want to comment on this from a personal perspective, because I have been a victim of this. I have been affected by this. Someone who I would have thought was a friend, someone who I would have thought would have protected my identity, actually stole my voice and used it without my consent and basically had me saying this.
Hey, what's up? It's me, and I'm a Reddit cuck.
Just disrespectful. I don't use Reddit. I'm not a cuck. I've never even had a girlfriend, so how can I be a cuck to cuck them out? Like, it doesn't even make sense. But this really is a debate for the ages. This definitely is something that is another level of technology that mankind perhaps is not ready for. Perhaps we're not ready for this. I think this is something that really highlights how simps' minds work, because like you would think of different technological aspects like time travel or a shrink ray and think, oh wow, I could shrink down to the size of a neuron and I could solve cancer, or I can use a time machine and go back and kill Hitler. Meanwhile, a simp would think of that, they're like, hold up, a time machine. If I could go back in time, I could just smack this bitch's ass, go back in time before I did that. There you go. And if I had a shrink ray, I could shrink myself down to the size of a pea, go in her food, and then be inside her stomach. Finally, I can live my vor reality. It exists, bro. Simps are out there. Simps are doing this. And with the AI technology that is at our disposal, it's really disgusting and really scary to see what's going to happen. But with that being said, I'm going to walk away from this and let you decide. Are you going to go down the 4chan route? Are you going to go down the compassionate normal route? Or are you going to find the middle place? I personally don't know what is right and what is wrong. I think this technology is powerful and can be used for the right things, but obviously the wrong person will always exist. But I'm going to log off now. I'm going to go back to enjoying the AI deepfake of DSP saying a Boogie 2988 speech. So I'll catch you next time.
I think I want to start this video by saying I'm glad I'm alive. And that's a weird feeling for me, because for the majority of my life, I did not feel that way.
At the end of every single video, make sure you ask people to rate and subscribe to your content. It makes them feel like they're involved even though they're really not. And most importantly, make sure they comment on every single video. If you have to, disguise it. You know, call it something like the question of the day. And really make them think you're gonna really read it when you really don't have to. Ha ha ha!